and welcoming the National President of the League of United Latin American Citizens, Domingo Garcia.
Buenos dias, and welcome to the State of Latino America 2021. Many of you say, well, what's going on? Well, let me just tell you, 2020 was difficult. It was a year that we had a Cucuy and a Llorona at the White House that got evicted. It was a year where COVID impacted our communities in a terrible and difficult manner in terms of its economic impact, in hospitalizations, and unfortunately in too many tragic deaths. But LULAC has risen to meet that challenge. Today, Latinos are more than 60.6 million in the United States and Puerto Rico. Between 2010 and 2019, our Latino share of the U.S. population went from 16 to 18% and growing. Every 30 seconds, a Latino turns 18. Think about that. More than half, 52% of the U.S. growth in the last 10 years, Latinos. We are the second largest ethnic group in the United States and continue to grow, and we're going to make sure that the U.S. Census counts each and every one of us, even if that means extending the census counts. Latinos are the workforce of the United States. They're the ones with their hands, they're building those bridges, those buildings. They're the ones that are picking the crops in the fields as farm workers. They're the ones that are working in the meatpacking plants, cutting that pork chop or that steak that you'll eat tonight. They're the ones with delivery trucks, getting them there to the grocery stores, and they're there at the grocery stores, making sure that there's food on your tables. So let's make sure we honor and protect them as we go forward. Here are the numbers of what this is costing Latinos in terms of the COVID pandemic. The hospitalizations rates for COVID are the highest among any ethnic group Latino. In Utah, which is 14% Latino, over 21% of the COVID-19 cases are Latino. Oregon, 13%, Latinos, 27% of the positive COVID cases. Washington, 13%, 32% of the COVID cases. California, 39% Latino population, but 55% of the COVID cases. And unfortunately, in Texas, my home state, Latinos are 39% of the population, but we are 50% of the fatalities in this state. So we need to make sure that Washington hears our voices and the voices of those families that have been impacted by COVID. We need to make sure that stimulus money, Small Business Administration money, and PPP money gets to Jose and Maria's on Main Street in our barrios, to Juana's Quinceanera, Jose's Landscaping, as well as Lupita's Restaurant. Wherever they may be, they deserve the support and help of our country. We need to make sure that our communities are considered essential workers and they get vaccinated as soon as possible. Teachers, meatpacking workers, truck drivers, people on the front lines need to be vaccinated early. Our seniors, our abuelitas, our tios, our tias, they need to get vaccinated since they need to be taken care of. My mother, 80 years old, just got vaccinated last week. We can do better. We need to do more. We need to make sure that all people are taken care of. Many communities, we have mixed families. Some are undocumented, some are U.S. citizens. We need to make sure they all get the stimulus support and the vaccines that they need. We're going to work with this President Biden and this new Congress on a new immigration bill that we hope will finally resolve those issues that have haunted this country since 1986 and the last immigration bill. I think we can do it, but we need people of courage, people who are willing to take risks to make sure that we do the right thing and we live up to the credo of our Statue of Liberty. We need to make sure that the schools are safe for our children to return. And I've spoken to Secretary of Education, Miguel Cordero, to make sure that we get the necessary help and support for our local school districts. We are fighting to make sure that our military is reformed to protect our men and women who serve our country. We are fighting to make sure that the banks are able to support and take care of our communities and stop charging excessive service fees like they have in the past. We can all do this, but the state of Latino America today, we've come a long way, but we got a long way to go. And in this pandemic, in this COVID year, I know que el valor y la fuerza y las ganas de nuestra comunidad puede hacer la diferencia. Our strength, our determination can make the big difference. So I urge all of you, support LULAC in 2021, support our community and our country. God bless. Buenas noches.